Great morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us on our podcast, Bringing Value. Join with our friend, Ricardo Acevedo.
Hey guys, good to hear from all of you guys.
Always. Hey, man, I tell you, we talked earlier. We definitely need a second camera or third camera just to get our behind the scenes talks because they're so empowering.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thank you, by the way. Like
You're
the value
very
I
welcome.
receive. And I'm hoping anyone that's listening gets a lot of value from this too. We'd love to hear your feedback, of course.
Absolutely.
So we talked a little bit off camera about the topic today. Listened to the Tony Robbins podcast a lot.
Yeah.
And I liked the topic, which he talked about was accountability. And everyone knows like what accountability is. Like we hear it all the time. Accountability. But like, I'm gonna give you my example. My example was, I talked to you a little off camera, was with accountability was we tried to do stock trading. Like by the way, everyone in the world is talking about stock trading now. Right.
Yeah.
Ever since the whole
it's
game
thing, right?
I kid you not. So we actually got there before all that happened. We bought this course online, right? Me, my little brother, and our brother-in-law. And we bought it, and we didn't do it at all. For like a solid month, we were not taking this course.
Right.
And so finally, we was like, listen, guys, like let's just all meet up at my house 7 p.m. We'll all be there. We'll take it from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday, and we'll just get out of the way. And I liked it because there were times where I did not want to do it. There were times my little brother was missing, like just gone, you know, 7:05, like, hey, man, where are you, buddy? Oh, I'm away. I'll come right now. But I'll tell you what, because of that, we finished the course in 2 weeks. And I can tell you right now, like call it a direction from God, but it's changed all three of our lives. And particularly my brother-in-law and my little brother both who are doing incredibly, incredibly well with the stock market, life-changing stuff.
Got it.
And even myself, I've been using a lot of the knowledge because I do cryptocurrency and so forth. And I really like that example as accountability. And I kind of wanted to pick your brain on like what accountability is. Give me some examples that maybe that you've used maybe for your office or your family.
Sure.
Like, feel free to expand.
Well, and I believe in my life, since we're touching that subject, I believe that everything in my life has been accountability.
Okay.
Everything is tied into accountability. Yeah. From home to my office, to just being in society, everything ties into accountability. And a lot of the successes and things that we've done, it ties into accountability, from me being a father, being obviously a good father and showing by example at home. It's all based on accountability. It's how I become accountable to my kids and how do my kids become accountable to what we got to do to set our standards, obviously, for the way we want them to be, from our workouts, getting up on time to do our workout.
Could you expand for the audience who don't know about your workout routine in the morning?
Sure. Obviously, I start my days at around 2:30 in the morning.
Okay.
It's basically on my own free time. That's where I get my personal time alone before the rest of my boys and my whole family wakes up, and then all of a sudden there's no me time no more. So my morning starts between 2 and 2:30 in the morning. But my kids finally join me around 5 a.m. after I've done my personal development stuff that I do. But we're all accountable to each other because they know 5 a.m. we're working out.
And that's huge. Like, how many young boys do you know that are working up at 5 a.m. to work out?
Not a whole lot. No. But I do know is ever since I started posting, there's more and more that are actually working out. I'm getting messages from parents that I do know that they're saying, hey, man, thank you for posting because I've been sharing that with my son. And now all of a sudden, they're getting up and I'm showing them, hey, look at your buddy here. Look at my friend's kids. Look at there. He's 7, he's 9, he's 11. Look at them. They're working out at 5:30, 6 a.m., 5 a.m. So if we tie it in, that's also accountability because it's keeping other people accountable to say, listen, if these people are doing it, now I can show this to my son or I can show this to my dad and keep them accountable as well. That he said that he was going to get in shape, that he was going to get up early and that he was going to work out, but he hasn't done it. So I'm going to show him this video so that he could see that Ricardo and his family, Monday through Friday, they're posting every single day that they're out there putting in their work. Now, we're keeping other people accountable, but we keep ourselves accountable at home. I wake up, but there's days I don't want to wake up. I don't feel like it. But guess what keeps me accountable to get up? My kids. And the days they don't feel like getting up, I keep them accountable. So in my opinion, everything in life, when there's obviously accountability, there's going to be growth. There's going to be progress, because when you're trying to do things on your own and there's no accountability, the chances that you're going to fail are much higher because there's not any accountability that is going to help you, empower you, and lift you to want to do the certain things that you know you have to do, but there's not somebody there to keep an eye on you, watch over you, and in a sense, help you and empower you to push you so that you do certain things that you know you have to do, but you haven't been self-driven to actually do them. So that's why it's huge. It's huge in our lives for sure.
Well, think about it like anything else. Like, we're human beings. We're not perfect, right? So
Correct.
Like, there's going to be times where you need to do something. Working out's a great example I use, right? It's like you need to work out every day. You know this. But yeah, you're right. There are times where you don't want to. I'm tired today, or I don't feel good today. Yeah. But when you have someone, like it's almost like an alarm clock, right? Correct. It's like, well, okay, why do you wake up at this time? Because an alarm goes off. Correct. Imagine having an accountability partner, which is like an alarm clock for every big thing in your life. Yeah. For working out, for dieting, and so forth. Right. I know for me, like I have a personal trainer. Why? Because there are days that I don't want to work out, Ricardo. Like, right. There's times where I don't want to get up and go to the gym, whatever. Right. But guess what? At 7 o'clock, I have to be there, right? Or 4 o'clock, I have to be there. So at 3:55, I'm getting a message saying, Seth, where are you? Yep. And guess what? I was like, all right, I gotta get out of bed real quick, get a quick change, and start rushing down there. I might be 5 minutes late, but I'm there. Yeah. If you didn't have him, I would have probably been there. Yeah. So yeah, that's how amazing, obviously, accountability is in our lives. Obviously, when we are looking for growth in certain areas, whether it's spiritual, whether it's body, your health, your business, we all need accountability, because that's really what pushes us to hit the next level or to hit that next target that we're trying to do, because we're being lifted and empowered by others that are going to make us believe on us when sometimes we don't even believe in ourselves. Yeah, and I like that. And I wanted to use the example that I used off camera with you. So one of the examples I wanted to tell the audience was, for example, working out, right? There was a time where I could only do a 60-pound barbell. Correct. Okay, so I'm doing the 60-pound barbell, and my friend Adrian's like, hey, passes me a 70. He goes, go for it. Yeah. I've never done 70, by the way. This is like a year ago. I was like, I've never done 70. Did a couple, helped me spot. Holy crap, I did 70. Right. I never thought I could do it. Yeah. Today I'm doing a 90, by the way.
That's amazing. You see the power of having accountability. Somebody that believes more than you believe on yourself, that is helping you and lifting you to limits that you thought were not even possible. And that's the power of accountability.
And you're right. That's like mind blowing, because think about it. When you're handed someone, or you're handing someone something for them to do that they haven't done before. Right. You're believing in them.
Correct.
Right. There's almost no doubt in your mind, like, oh, will he do it? Like, no, and you're right. You believe in more in them than they do in themselves at that moment.
That's how you empower them. That's how you bring hope, and you create belief and hope for that people, that you believe on them, that they can actually accomplish it. For example, here, my environment with my office, with my agents, we empower each other. We keep each other accountable. I have agents that have shown up to work here with me that all of a sudden, their business just took off. And it's not because where they were before or what they were doing before wasn't, in a sense, the same thing. It was just that they were not being kept accountable by the environment, by the energy, and by obviously the group support that it creates, that it has allowed them to grow to levels that they come back and tell me, hey, man, I never thought I would be able to be doing what I'm doing, sir. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. And I tell them, hey, you did it on your own just by being around this environment, by us obviously being around you, and by being in the environment where, we're keeping each other accountable to what we got to do on a day-to-day basis. Because if you're on your own, think about it. This one, it's very easy that you're going to slack, right? You're not going to do the things that you need to do. Yeah. You're going to obviously cheat and lie to yourself. Yes. And when they ask you if you did it, you're probably going to say yes. But in reality, you probably most likely didn't do it. But when you're with a group and you obviously, create this environment, you create this group, this group of people that they all line up for the same purpose, for the same dream, for the same goal. Now you have the energy of 3-4 people or a group, rooting for the same thing. Now you have more energy. Now you guys are helping each other, lifting each other up. Therefore, the outcome is naturally going to be much greater and bigger.
Whoa, okay, mind blown. So as you're talking, I was thinking about it. Like, we talk about momentum a lot. Yes. We talk about energy a lot. Right. And the way you said it right now makes all the sense. When you have multiple people aligned on the same goal. Yes. And we talk, like, oh my God, my mind's going everywhere. Like even like think about companies, right? When do companies become truly successful and big? When everyone is lined up on
the same idea, the same purpose, and the same vision.
Now apply that, what you just said, to everything else, right?
And you have the outcome.
Right? Progress, growth, actual change, right? So again, working out. You get by yourself working out, you're right. You might slack off. Here's the truth. I've done it. I'm sure you have. I'm sure a lot of the audience listening is probably doing the same thing. But when you have a group of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people who all have the same goal, work out this time, make incredible, lifts, strong pumps, whatever you want to call it, chase that pump, and get growth.
Right.
They're all, I can almost guarantee that every one of them are going to succeed because it's like combined energy.
Correct.
It's combined momentum. And we both talk about that when you have insane momentum, it's hard to stop you.
It is very hard because it created that ongoing where there's this force that is just coming and it's got very true power behind it.
I like that because like it's easy to digest. Everyone already knows that power in the numbers, right? The more people you have, the better it is.
Yeah.
But I don't think people have necessarily applied that logic to accountability.
Probably not. If you haven't looked at it that way.
Yeah. The reason why accountability works is because, like you were saying, it's just combined efforts.
Correct.
Holy Mal. that makes so much more sense to me now.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I want to talk to you about too was you were talking about your agents.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I know for me, when I was telling you, like it's so hard for people to understand the progress they're making at that moment.
Correct.
Right? So like if you ask me when I told you I went from 60 to 70, did I make progress? Yeah. But it's not like a huge, like it's progress, but it's not like, oh my God, winning now.
Right.
It wasn't until about a year later that I go, holy cow. After repeating that exact exercise over and over again, having someone else come to me, hey, let's do 80. Having someone come to do 90.
Right.
I think I'm pushing like even 100 probably starting next week.
So you went from 40 to 100, right? In a year.
Yes.
So that's major.
That's major progress. Right. And
yes.
We talked about it in the last podcast where it's like small wins.
Right.
Right. But what helped me get those small wins and that big win finally, which is that whole 1 year progress, was the accountability.
Yes. By having somebody there empowering you and giving you empowerment to tell you, hey, it's possible. Stick to it, work on it, improve on it daily, because you will see the result at some point. And look at yourself a year later.
Yeah.
What progress have you made from sticking to the plan, sticking to the process, and having that accountability that has kept you engaged in the process before you actually threw the towel, call it a quit, and you didn't want it to go keep going forward because maybe the progress wasn't as much as you wanted.
Yes.
But somebody else kept on telling you to stay on course, kept on empowering you, kept you accountable, and look at what the outcome is now.
Yes, huge. And we talked about a little bit off camera. That's the formula.
Correct.
But the formula is compounding those small wins to get to that big goal.
That is correct.
And like tying into this podcast with accountability, because like I was telling you, I think so many people, including myself, will get anxious, right? Like,
yes.
Oh, well, I'm not at my goal yet, right? Let's say if your goal and the weight example is you're going to 100, but you're only doing 60.
Right.
And you go to 70, like you still feel so far away.
Yeah.
Because it is a long distance away.
Yep.
But at least I think once you start reverse engineering it, which is like, okay, and the last thing I was very successful with, I followed these steps and I had the accountability that pushed me from here to here to here to here and all the way to my goal.
Right.
If you understand that you're in the progress or in the process of getting there, you feel less.
It changes your mindset.
Yeah.
It removes the stress. It removes the frustration, and then removes the anxiety because you believe that you're going in the right direction. Therefore, you become more natural and fluent at what you're doing because you have faith and belief that you know you're progressing. Yes, the outcome might not be there where you want it to be, but you have faith and belief that you are doing the actions on a daily basis that are going to get you there eventually. Therefore, you have more patience with the process and you allow the process to unfold on itself.
So is accountability basically like a part of that formula?
Of course it is, because you're going to have people that are going to be there to keep reminding you to keep going the way you're going. Now, if you're not doing the things that you're supposed to, they're going to be letting you know, hey, if you want to get here, I'm seeing what you're doing and you're around us, but you're still not doing the things that you're supposed to. Of course, the outcome is not going to be there.
Yeah.
Just for example, an example right now with one of my agents, he was going through, I hired him back in November and today is February, November. So he worked hard on November. He worked hard on December. Beginning of January, end of December, he came to me. He goes, "Hey, boss, I'm very frustrated because I'm meeting customers. I'm going out. I'm showing property. I'm setting up appointments. I'm very active, but things are not happening. I'm not opening escrows. I'm not closing transactions." But I kept on empowering him and telling him to believe that the process was the process. He needed to do certain activities that was going to eventually lead him to start building, a possible transaction and eventually start seeing exactly what the outcome was going to be from his product. I said, don't get frustrated.
Yes.
Do not get desperate because now you're going to create a different mindset. You're going to create a different being. Now the customers are going to start feeling that you are desperate because you haven't been able to sell a home just yet. You don't have any escrows going on. This demeanor is going to change. You're going to act different. And then you're going to be able to not be yourself with your customers. Therefore, your outcome with them and your energy isn't going to be there. So I helped them along between December, January, the month of February, from January towards the end of January and the month of February. This month alone, he has opened up 8 or 9 escrows for the month of February. And we just had a sit down just literally last week, and we were going back onto those conversations. And I was like, "Hey, do you remember?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, it was amazing to believe that I was obviously going this direction. I felt I wasn't having any progress. But you kept on insisting, boss, that I needed to be patient, that I needed to make sure I stayed, with the course. I stayed patient, not get frustrated, not do this or not do that. I follow your steps, and look at what happened.
Wow.
I said, now think about where you're at now, and now what you're going to be able to do in the next month and the following months, as long as you stay on that same course. You allow now this momentum to roll you over and think about what you could create over the next 12, 24 months if you build off of what you have gained so far.
Well, 2 notes. One, like you were saying, because once you have momentum, like you're unstoppable, right?
Yes.
Again, we talk about in Petra by David Talks, right? Building momentum is the single hardest stage of this.
Right.
Once you build momentum, you're in continuous momentum.
Yeah.
And then from continuous momentum, again, you get to like that promised land, advanced momentum. And that's the goal for any business.
Yeah, and it's beautiful when you get there.
Absolutely. And the second thing I wanted to know was, you're talking about the looking back and the accountability. 2 things that I think you made a good point with is, one, the anxiety, and the anxiousness we're talking about.
Right.
When you have anxiety or you're anxious, you're not yourself.
Right.
You're right. You come off as desperate. You come off as like jittery and whatnot. And people can read that.
It's the energy you carry.
Yes.
Instead of pulling customers towards you, you push customers away from you because of the way you approach them, the way you talk to them. Yes. And based on your energy that you carry, people's obviously going to feel that on you for sure.
Yeah. And I like how you said that, because think about it, you're his accountability coach at that moment.
Yes.
And still are, of course.
Yes.
By you being there, I feel like you took away that anxiety from the equation. You let him be himself still.
Right.
Let him know, hey, like, it's almost like I have a couple of friends, they say, well, I'm going through this. I'm like, well, it's in God's process. Don't worry. God, you're in that plan right now.
Yeah.
Know that you're going to get there.
Yeah.
Don't be anxious. Because no one wants to be, like we talk about like in jobs too, like no one wants to go to work miserable every day.
Right.
No one wants to be anxiety every day. No one wants to be anxious it would be a terrible feeling, not a very fulfilling way of life.
Yes.
But by having an accountability coach, partner, whatever you want to call it, it's almost like you took away that anxiety from him.
Because you're giving them hope.
Yes.
You're giving them hope to believe that it will happen, that you just got to continue with the course. Yes, you're going to have some failures, some defeats along the way. But the process, as long as you stick to it, you will have the outcome you're looking for. So that's what you do, is you create hope, you create empowerment, and you give them more ammunition to believe that the process is accomplishable, and therefore if they follow the process, they will get the end result that they're looking for.
I like that term you just used, ammunition. Right? Like anything else, you need ammunition.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, I think if you look back to like if you're doing it on your own, what happens is you run out of ammo.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You run out of energy. Yeah. You run out of just desire.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it no more. But when you have accountability, they fill you with ammunition to be able to have strength and courage and will to get up again the next morning, whether you feel defeated because you had a bad day yesterday, but you're counting on this group the following morning that is going to be there waiting for you so that you can go out and try and execute for one more day.
Powerful.
Yeah.
I tell you, because if you asked me years ago, Ricardo, I was very anti-coach, anti-accountability. Like it's always like, oh, it's me, it's only me, and I'm gonna do it on my own.
Right.
And I believe in self-strength, of course, but like to me, it's a no-brainer at this point. Accountability partners, coaches, mentors,
right,
all of that, because like you were saying, and it's perfect what you said. It adds ammo.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, you're going to run out of ammo if you're on your own.
Well, eventually, yes, you're going to need more guidance, right? Yeah. You know, it starts from you. You have to want it. Yes. But at the same time, think about it. You know, you have that self-initiative, but then you have this accountability group that is there. Think about how further out you can get.
Oh, much.
Right? How much more can you gain based off of having a good group of accountability that it's going to be going towards the same purpose that you're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely.
I mean, you'll become unstoppable.
Wow. Powerful.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like using it as an example, I can tell you and I'm sure you can relate to a lot of this. Every time I've had an accountability partner or a group or an environment, I've huge growth in a short period of time almost.
Yeah.
Physical fitness for sure. Financial prowess for sure. Look at us doing this podcast and like doing the self-development. Like, I don't know if you like, I don't even recognize myself, honestly. We started this about a year ago.
Yeah.
I don't recognize myself anymore. Like, so thank you, sir. I appreciate this. Like,
you're welcome.
Like, you're my accountability partner if you think about it.
Right? We are accountable to each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're accountable to show up on Fridays or the days we do our podcast and show up in our best state of mind.
Yes.
To be able to come in with the best attitude possible, the best energy possible, so that we're able to create good content and therefore create, obviously, something powerful to share.
Yes.
So it's accountability, of course.
This is a prime example of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Powerful podcast. Is there anything, I mean, I got so much to digest right now.
What I would like to finish it with is if you're one of those people that are trying to get in shape, that are trying to do better in business, that you're trying to get into a better relationship with God, whatever area you know you're struggling, you got to find a group or got to find an operation, got to find an environment, an area where you have accountability. And where you're going to find that is look at areas on where you're trying to improve, and you need to insert yourself into an area that has obviously accountability, that there's other people working on the same purpose, that is going to allow you to basically believe in yourself and help you, give you that ammo that you need so that you stay in course longer than you have on the paths that you have failed and you haven't been able to progress and succeed because you were trying to do it on your own. That's why there's so many, groups out there from so many different areas that you can tap into.
Yes.
But a lot of times we're afraid.
Yes.
We're scared.
Yes.
We think we're not good enough to be in that environment. And we hold ourselves from doing that. We hold ourselves from showing up because we don't want to be there. We are obviously, again, we don't believe in ourselves. But when we obviously allow ourselves to get into an environment where there is accountability, believe me, you will grow more than if you're trying to do it on your own. It's a team effort. It's more energy. One body versus 4 or 5 bodies, right?
Yeah.
It's more energy, more empowerment, more strength, more energy. And I guarantee you you're going to go to limits that you didn't think it was even possible.
Yeah. And I think it's funny, you read my mind, Ricardo, because I was going to ask you exactly that, which is like, well, what if I'm afraid? Like, for example, with the church, like I have a really good spiritual group of environment that I like to go to church and we talk about spiritual talks.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time it's like, well, I want to get spiritual, but I don't have any friends that are immediately spiritual.
Right.
But like you hit a spot on, go anyway.
Yeah.
And I think people will be surprised on how willing people are willing to give, especially when they see someone that wants to be in that environment.
Of course.
Right.
You're hungry to learn.
Yes.
Believe me, you'll find people that is willing to pour to you. And I challenge you, if you're one of those that you're looking for help, look for groups, accountability groups within the area you're looking for, and I'm sure you will find a community that will support you in that area.
Powerful. Well, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed our episode of Bringing Value. I have so much to digest when I get back. Hope you guys have a great day.
Thank you.